Right, House of Deals, that's the front page of the Standard this morning. The talk of wheeler dealing. State House is a hallowed residence of the president and carries the nation's heritage apart from being the center of power. But recent claims are depicting the house on the hill as grounds for patronage, plunder and pillage under the president's watch. This story is on page 4. Wamepiga picha pale ya State House with shadowy figures kule wanazunguka na mabriefcase hivi na pesa zinaruka huko juu kama chopped money. Alafu president ameko hapa mbele anaangalia tu. Very calm and collected. The story is on page 4. Acha tukwambie wanasema nini. So State House, the seat of government in Kenya, is, according to critics, increasingly becoming a citadel of multi-billion shilling questionable deals and a paradise for brokers and wheeler dealers. Uncharacteristic leaks and confessions from insiders with a gripe against President William Ruto's administration are giving a glimpse of a house of deals which has almost transformed the president's command base into a crime scene. Of course, some of these people who are talking about this include the former deputy president, former CS for public service, former chairman of the IEBC board, Irungu Nyakera, whose party, the Farmers Party, left Kenya Kwanza just recently. And probably we're going to see more people coming out and saying, even as we have more tales to tell. House of Deals, you can read more on page 4 of this paper. Malala in trouble over echoes of war play. That's the other story there on the front page of the Standard. Yesterday there was an incident where officers accosted the former Secretary General of the UDA party, and there were allegations that he had been arrested over his involvement in the scripting of the play Echoes of War, which had initially been banned from the National Drama Festival. Then the court said they should go ahead and perform. Yeah. I think they're slated to perform today. Today 8 a.m. I hear it was pushed to 6 a.m. now. To 6 a.m.? Yes. So they're already on stage as we speak? I'm not sure if they will be on stage. Why would they start at 6? I read somewhere to prevent coverage, but we never know. Maybe it will be pushed to 8 because Malala was barred from overseeing those rehearsals yesterday night. All right. Yeah. Author of Butere Girls' drama script and politician was yesterday barred from accessing his actresses in a stage show being showcased today. And you can read more about the ongoing drama festivals on page 2 of this paper. A picture of the former UDA Secretary General inside his car after he was blocked by DCI officers from accessing Kirobon Girls to reach Butere Girls students for rehearsals last night. I've also seen a report somewhere that a number of journalists were attacked at this same school, Kirobon. I think that's where Butere Girls are residing as they attend the drama festivals. Kirobon is somewhere in Njoro. So it is very unfortunate that journalists are being caught up in this kind of melee. But anyway, whoever wants to publicize Echoes of War has definitely done a good job, because now everyone is looking for that play and that script. Yeah. But wengine by the way, unajishoot tu kwa mguu mwenyewe. Balancing act between freedoms and order, the government wants to regulate social media, but experts warn the move is a double-edged sword. You remember this discussion in Uganda. As they approach the elections next year, they say they're going to get some technology that's going to control social media. So naona hata hapa Kenya page 5 NIS boss Nordin Haji anasema mambo ni yale yale hata hapa Kenya. Social media will be controlled. On the back page of the Standard, this is a story that we cannot miss. Na najua sababu tujaonyesha, acha tuonyeshe hapa. Angalia hiyo, Hii ni the great Gunners. Arteta hails Rice free kick magic as Arsenal stand Real. It was a nice 2 free kicks and a very nice goal for Arsenal as a beat. Hii hata sikusema beat. Hii inasema hii walipita with flying colors. Walilima watu vibaya sana. Real Madrid 3-0. Bayern Munich lost to Inter Milan meanwhile. And other fixtures, April 15th. Going forward, that's the second leg. Yesterday, Barcelona hosted Dortmund, and I think, what was it? PSG hosted Aston Villa yesterday. That's the Standard this morning.
Taifa Leo mlima walipuka. Anasema kwamba licha ya rais kufanya ziara ya kufana na kujitangaza mfalme milimani, hali bado ni tete. Ziara ya wiki moja ya Rais William Ruto katika mlima Kenya yamkini haikufaulu kubadilisha msimamo mkali wa viongozi na wakazi dhidi ya utawala wake. Na wakazi wanaonekana kulipuka kwa hasira hata baada ya Rais Ruto kujitangaza kiongozi wa jamii za eneo hilo na kuahidi kutekeleza miradi ya maendeleo. Huyu hapa ni mbunge wa Mathira Eric Wamumbi akihutubia waandishi wa habari mjini Karatina, Nyeri, kwenye picha hili katika ukurasa wa mbele wa Taifa Leo. Hili gari ni gari kwenye msafara wa aliyekuwa naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua ambalo lilivunjwa vioo wakati wahuni walivuruga ibada ya kanisa eneo la Mwiki siku ya Jumapili iliyopita. Mlima walipuka. Habari zingine, walimu wanolewa kwa gredi 9. Walimu wakuu wa shule za sekondari wapokea mafunzo kuhusu gredi ya 9. Sudan Kusini yainamia Amerika. Imebadilisha uamuzi wao awali wa kumzuia mtu aliyefurushwa Amerika kurejeshwa nchini humo. You know, they were denied visas to America, so maybe that's why wameamua kushusha nyavu. Watu 10 waumia kwenye fujo za kura za ODM, na uchaguzi wa mashinani wa ODM wakumbwa na vurugu katika kaunti 2 za Nyanza. Habari zinginezo, aibu, wanasiasa wakijivua uheshimiwa na kupigana. Wanasiasa sasa wanashiriki vitendo vya kujivua heshima huku wakitusiana na kupigana hadharani, matukio ya aibu ambayo yamekashifiwa na raia na kupaka tope asasi muhimu ya kutunga sheria za nchi. Viongozi hao ni Umulkhair Harun Mohamed na Falhada Imani. Umulkhair has been banned from Parliament for 90 days.
Right. I think yule amekuwa banned ni Falhada Iman for 90 days.
Falhad, who is being investigated. Umulkhair.
Okay, fine. Yesterday the speaker said that investigations will commence, but they've both apologized to Parliament. Then the speaker will make a ruling on whether or not more investigations will have to be conducted.
Yes. Iman is the one who is banned.
Yes.
On the top strip, KDF yabomoa jengo hatari kwa ustadi, na jeshi la ulinzi la Kenya KDF jana lilibomoa jengo la orofa 12 katika mtaa wa Fayaz, Mombasa kwa vilipuzi, na hivyo kumaliza siku kadhaa za taharuki eneo hilo. Habari zinginezo ni Arsenal sasa baba yao Baraka Hoi, na kompyuta yaipa Arsenal uwezekano wa kushinda UEFA. Taifa Leo.
Alright. Nataka kuangalia tu jana kuliendaje. Barcelona walitandika Bayern mabao 4-1. Sasa tunangojea second leg. Daily Nation, Ruto-linked farm wins back 13 billion shilling land. This is prime. A farm associated with President William Ruto has retained possession of a 1,600-acre parcel in Ruai, Nairobi, after obtaining a court order suspending a decree that handed the vast land to squatters. The company lost ownership of the land in October 2024 after the High Court ruled its papers were not legitimate. Now this is just one. Kuna ingine huko Ndavivi, Naivasha. Same story, 5,000 acres. Wanangangana na squatters kule. Anyway, Uhuru regime seized part of the land in 2020, but order was revoked after 2022 transition. Now Ruto-linked farm has won back the land. Now wanaendelea na kazi. How Trump's new trade tariffs will hit Kenyans. Farmers and workers in the textile sector are most exposed as a 10% tariff imposed by the United States on Kenyan goods kicks in, likely disrupting an industry that supports about 180,000 jobs. You know, a lot of these garments made of denim that end up in the American market actually are prepared in Kenya, made in Kenya, in the EPZ. Alafu unaona watu wamevaa na wamehang hiyo trouser hapa kwa magoti hivi wakitembea hivi. Unafikiria walijishonea huko la haula. Hapa tu Kitengela. Sasa wanasema hata hiyo imechapwa tariff. So that could affect a lot of workers in the EPZ zones. Yesterday in Mombasa, of course, there was a spectacle as KDF and the county government came together to demolish an 11-story building which had been condemned, and they had to evacuate people at a radius of about 3 kilometers. Kenya hawajaiona maneno kama hayo. Waliambiwa endeni mpige picha kule mbali. I've seen a lot of videos about how the building came down, but it did, and they did so successfully. A building goes down yesterday afternoon in a controlled demolition near the Coast General Teaching and Referral Hospital in Mombasa County. The 11-story structure had started sinking and was tilting dangerously. Paleju, dishonorable House MP gets 90-day ban from Parliament for fight with her colleague. And it should be noted that this MP who was banned for 90 days is actually a member of the East Africa Legislative Assembly, has previously served as a member of the National Assembly. That's why she was only allowed. That's the only reason why she was allowed into parliamentary precincts. But now Kengioka can misbehave. Day, a furious Moi minister resigned at Daily Nation office. That's John Koechu, passed on yesterday. He died on Tuesday this week, and they're doing stories as a tribute to him. Supreme verdict on killer women. Top court to make a ruling on battered woman syndrome defense. Battered woman syndrome ni gani? Ila amechapwa, alafu in retaliation, she, in defense, let's say, she murders her victim, her oppressor. On the back page, MPs protest at slow scrutiny of 700 billion shillings owed to suppliers. Yes. And reprieve for governors as court allows disbursement of budgeted bursaries. That's the back page of The Nation.
What a shame, People Daily, and Speaker Wetangula reads the Riot Act after MPs engage in dirty brawl at Parliament over differences associated with interest for Garissa County woman representative seat. Again, Mohamed Mulher wanajipata katika front page. Yeah, the People Daily.
This is the last thing they expected because they were not happy. If you watch the video, they were insisting, wacha kurekod. Now it's on the front pages. They never expected that this thing would be on the front page of the newspaper.
Yeah. Funny enough, the person who recorded this video is also being investigated and Tafuto. On the top strip, women with disability shine in climate action. Why we want men to make our hair.
Is that true?
I don't know. Bora nywele imeundwa. Other stories here, candidate who could not name the Kapenguria Six. Funny enough, this is an official washa in chief. I think anaitwa James somebody.
Alipatiwa mtihani akaambiwa unajua Kapenguria Six.
Akasema Dedan who? Was it Dedan Kimathi?
No, ushapotea.
Yes, alisema one of the firefighters.
Alisema Dedan Kimathi.
Alitaja Dedan Kimathi as one of the Kapenguria Six.
Oh no, oh no.
Kina Dedan Kagia, nini?
Achieng' Oneko.
Achieng' Oneko, Jomo Kenyatta. He only remembered Jomo Kenyatta.
Fred Kubai.
Fred Kubai. Hapo nakumbuka.
Watu wengi hawajui the Kapenguria Six. Yenyewe hapo mimi hata ningesema walimuonea, lakini ukiulizwa do you know the Kapenguria Six?
Yes.
Tumewaname sasa wanne.
Bildad Kagia, Jomo Kenyatta, Fred Kubai, yes, lakini
Kungo Karumba.
Yes.
All right, so that's the People Daily.
Paul Ngei,
Kungo Karumba. All right. Kenyan e-visa cash wire to Swiss bank. That's the front page of the Star today. And this sounds like a very interesting story on page. And you know the Star always does something different. So billions of shillings collected by the government from the e-visa system introduced last year by President William Ruto's administration were first wired into a Swiss bank account the Stars established. The details emerged following a fallout between the government and the firm Trevisori Border Security SA, Switzerland, that was awarded the lucrative contract for what is officially known as Electronic Travel Authorization System Services, ETA. The State Department for Immigration introduced the ETA system to advance scrutiny, security screening of travelers before they arrive in the country. So with technology comes new problems. You can read more of that story on pages 4 and 5. Of course, they have also given prominence to that bringing down of a building, demolition of a building in Mombasa, with very nice pictures on the front page, how KDF tore down condemned Mombasa building. Palechini, a mother's journey of daily struggle and joy raising child with autism. An Auditor General exposes 1.4 billion shilling financial mess at Women Enterprise Fund. Iyala MP banned from House after fist fight in Parliament is also a story, and the Star continues paying tribute to the legal giant, also a literary giant, Feroz Noroji, calling him a legal eagle. Exits the stage. That's the Star. Fresh, independent, different with 60 bob. You can get yourself a copy of this paper.
Business Daily, CBK sees Kenya exports drop as Trump tariffs take effect. And the Central Bank of Kenya has termed the impact of US President Donald Trump's 10% tariff on Kenyan exports as immaterial amid fears of a global recession. The Apex Bank has forecast that Kenyan exports to the US are likely to fall by only 12.9 billion shillings in the aftermath of the latest wave of reciprocal tariffs. Tariffs on China will be increased to 125% from 104%, apparently. This story is on page 2. Workers who lose jobs to economic shocks to get stipend, and workers who lose their jobs in the wake of economic shocks such as a pandemic and recession will receive a monthly state pay if a government-backed bill that seeks to expand the menu of social protection programs is adopted. And the Social Protection Bill of 2025 has proposed that the affected workers be entitled to the monthly stipend similar to those offered to the elderly persons. Interesting. On the ticker, banks face daily fines from June on central bank loan spurge. Stanbic Bank to join China's space system. Nairobi drops in hotel ranking as developers go up country. That is that story of the condemned Mombasa building, which was demolished yesterday, and that's the Business Daily. Right.
Let's take a look at the cartoons today. Before we come to the end of this news review, we'll start off with the one on the Standard. Talks about that what you've just mentioned on the front page of the Business Daily, matters to do with interest rates. The CBK here is portrayed as a referee in a basketball